Hello Reformers, and welcome back to A World of Ice and Fire. It is very, very late right now where I am, and so I'm going to have to be a bit quiet, shall we say. And hopefully I'm going to be able to do it, because you know me, if I get a bit excited, I'm going to be, I don't know, shattering the earth in one fell swoop. No, that's not going to happen. But anyway, we're going to try and be a little bit quiet. But yes, as you can see, I have actually arrived in the north of Westeros, because it is about time that we speak to Lord Commander Mormont. Good to see you again, King Stumble. You have been accosting caravans. Yeah, that was actually a while ago, old man. It seems like he doesn't actually know that it's been, well, a very significant amount of time since that happened. Anyway, what I would actually like to do is, I actually wanted to just kind of see how much relation he had with us. It seems like he has 32, so that's actually really good. That means that I will theoretically be able to create an alliance with him, which is fantastic. Now, of course, the only other thing that I want to do when we are in the north right now, you know what that is? Oh yeah, it is to attack the free folk. That is what we want to do. That is the reason why we are here, because attacking the free folk, that's going to be pretty important, because I don't know whether you notice, but they've actually taken something from the Night's Watch, which is not very good at all, I gotta say that. There's Stumbleton, by the way. So a long time ago that we created that is for sure. And I think we have a pretty decent shot at taking all of the free folk lands, because let's face it, what we want to do is we want to try and retake our lands. We want, we are unhappy in a thematic sense, in a roleplay sense. We are unhappy with the way that Mance Rayder has been commanding our forces, commanding our troops and our people. And so what we're going to do is we're going to overthrow him, and we're going to take over the free folk lands, and hopefully that is going to make things a little bit easier for us when the White Walkers come in as well. Now bear in mind that we are actually pretty close to the White Walker invasion. I'm actually unsure how close. I think it comes in at day 700, and I think I'm not entirely sure. I think day 600 and something, so we are probably going to have some difficulties if we don't get prepared soon. And that means, you know what that means? Yeah, that means we're going to be recruiting. Only Brothers of the Watch can recruit Night's Watch troops from here. Well, that's kind of unfortunate, because many people have said that I should probably try and get some Night's Watch Rangers, but I assume that I am going to have to rescue them from the free folk themselves. That seems to be the only way that I might be able to do that. Anyway, we are going to go straight on in here. We're going to attack the Lord of Bones. Not entirely sure, not entirely sure how my wife is going to appreciate this. Wanda is not going to be very happy, although maybe she will. Maybe she doesn't care so much for the free folk. Who knows? Anyway, he says, I won't forget the great battle near Fist of the First Men, when we broke through the enemy lines and they ran screaming before us. It is a sweet memory. Well, we're going to create some not-so-sweet memories right now. You could call them sour memories. Let's do this. Okay, so yeah, we're going to lose a bunch of reputation, as you can see right there. We're going to lose a little bit of relation with our vassals, but that is to be expected, of course. And House Targaryen is also declaring war against these guys. Now, that is obviously nothing to worry about. In my opinion, we are going to be absolutely fine here. We're actually in the village itself. I am not a big fan of this. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this, and as a result, you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to get off my mount, because my mount generally tends to be a bit of an annoyance if I am in close quarter situations. Now, how easy do you think it's going to be for us to actually defeat the wildlings with so many high tier units? And I mean, it's been a long time since we've actually seen the wildling units in action right here, And these are basically our people, by the way, but let's just pretend, in an RP sense, that we are freeing them from the misguided leadership of Mance Rayder. Let us just try to remember that as we, you know, cut swathes upon swathes through the enemy's lines. Let's just remember that we are attempting to free them from that the madman, basically, from the madman. That's what we're going to say, because he obviously is unaware that he must make some changes in the way he does things if we are going to stand a chance against the White Walkers, because obviously the White Walkers are going to be the greatest threat that Westeros has faced in a very, very long time. And well, we kind of need this area right here, you know, this area above the wall, to be a little bit more reinforced. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to take the free folk towns and the free folk castles and things like that, and we won't have to worry too much about their garrisons being overtaken so incredibly easily, because obviously the free folk, they're probably going to fall before the White Walkers very, very fast. I mean, that's the point. I have never ever before seen the actual invasion. I don't exactly know what happens, but I'm going to be really, really interested to see how that works, because I know I've seen a bunch of other, you know, invasions in other mods and things like that, you know, like Fantasy Calradia. They do have in I think in one of the older versions they did have something going on there with an invasion of some sort, and they also had something going on in Blood and Steel as well. Absolutely love Blood and Steel. Fantastic mod. A long time since I played it, actually. Fantasy Calradia is also very, very fun. And yeah, so Blood and Steel, I think, did have an invasion of like undead or something like that, and it would give you a countdown every so often. It would say, oh, you know, this many days until the invasion of the Dark Forces or something like that, and so you had to get prepared for it, and it was pretty ominous, you know, pretty ominous. So yeah, that was really, really cool in my opinion. That was a really cool way to do things. But obviously when those undead units or those dark forces came in to the game, you could still kill them, you know, you could still kill them with regular weapons. You could kill them with regular weapons, you could kill them with basically anything that you could. Obviously they were very hard, you know, they had some decent stats and good gear and all that sort of thing, but they were not only able to die from various weapon types, because obviously in A World of Ice and Fire, that's very different, and that is the major change that we are going to have to deal with here, because as I say, there are a number of other mods that do have invasions, Blood and Steel being one of them, and a number of others. And usually when, you know, enemy forces invade and take over a whole bunch of territory, I think Perisno also has something going on with that. I think Perisno also has a little bit of an invasion. Yeah, the Zan invasion, I believe it's called. So yeah, they do have that. And the Zan generally do tend to take over a whole bunch of territory very, very quickly. But they are beatable, you know? They are beatable with just regular weapons. So obviously us having a Valyrian sword, that's fantastic. Obviously it is two-handed, so if the White Walkers are renowned archers, which I don't believe they are, I think they are just, you know, regular, very strong, menacing warriors who are, well, basically undying, shall we say. But yes, those guys will probably die pretty quickly to our two-handed. I do need to continue using it though, because obviously I want to try and get as much weapon proficiency as I can. That is the biggest thing that I have to do to get ready for the White Walker invasion, with the exception of obviously capturing, or shall we say rescuing, Night Watch Rangers. That's going to be really good. Okay, so I'm actually wondering whether I can do this. I'm going to take this guy prisoner, and we're going to take Harma prisoner as well, as you can see right there, and we can actually get some Night's Watch trainees, riders. Oh yeah, I'm going to take all of these. I don't want to take the Northern Clansmen. I apologize. I do not want to take these guys. Do I? I have so much space. Yeah, okay, fine. We're gonna take them, why not? Didn't really want to because they don't really serve that much purpose, but I guess if they are, you know, decent enough, then they will be fine. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna upgrade a whole bunch of our people here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. There we go. And right, okay, so these guys can level up into Night's Watch trainee rangers. These guys can level up into veterans. Okay, these guys, okay, so they go into infantry and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so the main thing that I wanted to do here, of course, was to speak to this guy. You've committed high treason. I can actually, wow, this is a really powerful ability. Having ownership over King's Landing and being able to basically convert enemies into allies is a fantastic thing, and that's exactly the reason why I would like to form an alliance with Lord Mormont. I think that's going to be a really, really powerful thing for us to do. So anyway, yeah, he's going to go to the wall. There we are. Very nice indeed. Now, I believe I actually do have... Oh wow, a load of people started hating me right there. Yeah, that is to be expected, of course, but anyway, the point is, I am going to gain his items and things like that, but that actually doesn't make any difference because I actually don't have that much space. So we're going to do that. As you can see, everyone is absolutely hating me like no one's business. But thankfully, Wanda is none the wiser. She's just like, oh, I don't mind what you're doing. It's all good. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so that is fantastic. And now we can continue onward, and now we can actually start doing something about the free folk over here in Shadow Tower. So we're going to actually do the siege itself. I think it really depends. I don't know whether a spy is really going to work here because there's so many units in there. We're going to try a spy, but I don't know whether it's really going to work. If it gets seen almost immediately, then I might decide to just go in. All right, let's reward him. It gives me a little bit of extra renown. And oh, there's Mance Rayder. He has 7. What? He has 727. That is pretty crazy. Okay, come back here, Mance. Oh. Yes, he decided to go inside. Well, that's not very nice of him, is it? That means he's going to, no doubt, discover my spy very, very quickly. Yeah, as you can see right there. That was a little bit too fast for my liking. Okay, so they do have 66 prisoners in here, so they actually have a couple of elite rangers and various other Night's Watch units. So we do need to get a whole bunch of those to defend ourselves against the White Walkers. And yeah, okay, so here's the thing. If we are able to take Mance Rayder prisoner, and indeed take his other companions prisoner, because as you can see, I don't know whether you can notice that, but he actually has 3 other companions. I don't know whether you know, but I believe my thumbnail for this series is actually of Ygritte, who is actually the second on the list there. I believe that is her, but if it's not, then I apologize because, yeah, I'm not very well versed in the whole Game of Thrones universe, so yeah, I apologize about that. But anyway, as you can see right there, there's also a giant. There's also a giant, so it would be really, really cool if we could potentially capture him, maybe gain his weapon, and then we could give his weapon to someone, and he would be able to, I don't know whether that's really going to work, actually. So let me just get rid of a couple of things here. These things are absolutely useless to me, and there we go. All right, so that's absolutely fine. All right, so I'm going to try once more, and we'll send in a spy. And I don't think this is going to work. Spies are generally very unlikely, to be honest. Leave them. Yes, leave them be is usually the best option most of the time. Okay, so we have Tormund in there as well now. Oh, that is awful. Yeah, so as I was saying, spies are very unreliable when there are vassals in the particular fief that you're trying to take. So it's highly unlikely that I'll be able to do this. I don't know whether I should just go in, Because if I just go in, I'm going to lose a huge amount. Just bear that in mind. If I'm going to lose a huge amount just from the automatic siege things, you know what I mean? Like placing your siege equipment, placing your mantlets and all that sort of thing, that will automatically lose me about 100 units or something like that almost immediately. So that's definitely something that we have to be a bit careful of. I'm going to use the spy here. It's probably not going to work. Nope. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty unreliable sometimes, so obviously that's a thing that we do need to be aware of as well. You know, spies are not 100%, good most of the time, so it's a bit of a shame really, but oh well, whatever the case, I guess what I can do, we're gaining 7,000 stacks from all of our little places here. Valantis is actually giving me a huge amount, which is pretty nice, and otherwise, I guess we'll just go into the next area here, and we'll try and expand our territory a little bit. And you know what we're going to do? I'm actually going to give Lady Val a couple of these things up here, because she is obviously a member of the Free Folk. So generally, I feel like that would make the most sense. Can I actually go in here? Oh, this isn't actually a thing that I can capture. Interesting. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess we'll just go over here then. Wow, I was actually not expecting that. I thought that was going to be the first thing that we would attack. Oh, hello, Night's Watch. Oh yeah, these are the guys that we sent up here, by the way. Yeah, that's a Norvoshi. Oh, both Norvoshi. Yeah, so they're both Norvoshi. One of them only has 41 units, which is, in my opinion, the reason why I'm a little bit dubious about the White Walkers coming in, because they're going to come in and they're going to be like, okay, so this vassal only has 40, and they're going to have, what, I don't even know, over 1,000 or something? It's pretty crazy. Alright, so, look at this. Tormund named Giant Spain a lie. Tormund lost, cold, and almost dead. Tormund found cave. Woman giant lived there. He cut open her belly and crawled inside. When Giant woke up, she thought she had given birth. She forced Tormund to suckle her for 3 moons until he escaped. Earned name Giant's Babe. I don't know whether to be extremely shocked by that or to be I don't even know. What was that? Thank you very much for sharing, Dongo. Maybe should I say thank you for sharing? Maybe not. Maybe it's a case of, too much information. But well, whatever the case, I guess we will. Oh, look at this! We actually have a bunch of people here that we can technically rescue. Okay, you know what? We're gonna just go in. We're just gonna go in. Let's get our mantlets up and running, and we're just gonna do the the standard stuff, just to be a bit ready here. We might as well build some stuff. Find a traitor. Yeah, let's do that too, and we'll just wait until tomorrow. So we're actually gonna go and do a little bit of a regular siege here. Send men to ambush the enemy. Go there with any companions who want to join. You know what? I'm going to go there with any companions because I don't really want to lose people, on a whim. Your mission is to ambush the enemy when they come for water supplies. If you feel lost at some point, press the K key to remember these goals. Oh, thanks very much. I think I'll be okay. I think I will be fine. But hopefully my people... I'm just going to charge in. I personally don't think we really need anything. I think most of my companions are really, really well geared. I don't think they're going to have any problems whatsoever with dealing with the opponent. So hopefully that's going to be the case. If not, then, well, I will just have to carry them on my back. I know Elias is not exactly, not exactly, known for his rigidity, I guess you could say, or his structural integrity. Yes, how fantastic. What a great use of the phrase structural integrity. Very good, me. Very well, very nice. Oh well, it must be due to the late hour. That's probably it. It's coming up to oh wow, yes, it's past 12. Actually, it's past 12. All right, well, let's have a look here. Yeah, that's 12 a.m. by the way, not 12 p.m. of course. Because otherwise it's just like, what? It's midday? Oh, no, it's not midday, that's for sure. Alright, so we're sneaking up on them. These guys all have bows, but I always find it funny when the wildlings use their bows because it's not very effective. You know what I mean? It's not very effective. And you know what? I actually kind of feel like I should just let my companions do their thing, because Thoros, as you can see, Thoros is getting in there. He's doing a lot of damage, so Barristan wants to have a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a swing here and there. And there you go. Easy. I mean, obviously the wildlings generally do tend to be quite easy, so I should not really be that surprised. Alright, now the garrison will have to think twice before sending men out. Okay, that's fantastic. Alright, so yeah, they and their money are welcome. That's going to give me a little bit of extra renown, which is exactly what I want. And the castle's food stores should only last for another 5 days. That's pretty good. Okay, how long is that going to take? I don't exactly know how long they need to create the mantlets. Oh, the Weeper has actually been taken prisoner by the Night's Watch. That's pretty good. And that fellow from Bravos is running around raiding our villages. I am so livid about that. That is so annoying. Okay, well, whatever the case, it's going to take another 20 hours to get the siege equipment up and running. But some of you are going to get your wish by the looks of things, because we're actually going to go in to a siege without forcing them to surrender. I don't think they'll... now that I've actually built the siege equipment, I don't really want to try forcing them to surrender just in case it actually does work, because I'd much rather just go in there and have some fun as well, because I think going in is pretty fun, especially considering we have never seen a Free Folk siege layout ever before, so I think it could be pretty cool to do that. So let's see if that actually works. Okay, so now here's the thing. This is the exact event that I want to impart to you. That is, if you are outnumbered, seriously, that is going to give you a huge amount of casualties. So if I place this right here, as you can see, we only lost 11. And I say only, but that's because we are outnumbering the opponent right now. If we did not outnumber them, then we would not have lost only 11. We probably would have lost, I don't know, much more than that, 50, 60, 70 units. And that's the reason why I generally tend to put a lot more faith into spies than in straightforward assaults. So I hope you understand that. Anyway, we're going to go and we're going to lead our soldiers in an assault. And it's been such a long time since I've done one of these well, old-timey kind of siege layouts. I remember doing these kinds of things in Britain-Warder, I believe. Yes, Britain-Warder. That was a long time ago. I believe I started playing Britain-Warder in 2013, or yeah, I think 2013 actually. Yeah, 2013, and I created, I think, I don't even know now. 138 videos, I think. Wasn't it? 138 videos or something? I don't know. Something like that. At least over 100. And yeah, it was absolutely grueling. It was an absolutely grueling slog of a mod. But that's the point. It was very realistic. And generally it was very difficult. But obviously nowadays people have kind of figured out how to make the mods that... well, Britain-Warder technically spawned Viking Conquest, because it's the same mod team that worked on Viking Conquest that also worked on Britain-Warder. So that's pretty impressive. And the fact is that Britain-Warder was probably the first mod that brought in siege equipment that was not just a siege tower and a siege ladder, because they actually had battering rams in Britain-Warder, as far as I remember. And it was a bit buggy, don't get me wrong, it was a bit buggy, it wasn't perfect or anything, but obviously the limited amount that you can do with the Mountain Blade engine, even though you can do quite a lot with it, let's face it, but you could actually create a battering ram, and that's what they did. So you could actually stand next to the battering ram, all your guys could push the battering ram to the gates, and they had destructible doors, destructible gates, and all kinds of manners of things. And you could actually use that battering ram against the gates and get in that way. It was really, really fun. And it was actually really cool, because I created my main faction. And this was obviously way back when I still were, I was still very much a shall we say, I was still very green in terms of how much I knew about Mount & Blade and all of its intricacies and things like that. So if you go back and watch it now, it's probably going to be a bit frustrating if you know a lot about the game, but it's kind of funny in the same way, because I say all kinds of stuff that is obviously not right, and you kind of know that it's not right, but I obviously at the time did not know that much about it. So obviously, you know, the point is that it's not dated very well, but it's kind of a testament to how far I've come, you know, with knowing about things, even though I still learn a couple of things every now and again about the game, because it is just so deep, if you know what I mean. It's got a lot of deep and kind of complex gameplay some of the time, and especially considering mods generally tend to deepen that even further. And I mean, native is not very, I mean, you can learn that quite easily, whereas, you know, there are still some complexities to it, like how some of the skills work, and, you know, what you can actually do with emissaries. And, well, you can't actually even do emissaries in native, because I don't believe there's even any kind of diplomacy kind of thing going on there. That's why you install diplomacy, the mod, obviously. But the point is that there's a number of things that you still learn over the time, or not you specifically, but me. You know, the player can learn over time. So anyway, the point is that Brick and Mortar, very fun, very complex mod, and I think it was definitely one of the first mods to make the gameplay that much more realistic. You know, even though some of the realism things are pretty annoying. Like I can probably think of 20, maybe even 30 different times that I passed out from blood loss just literally because I took a javelin to the face, and I was playing on really, really high difficulty settings at that point. So basically, you know, you get javelin in the face, you're basically either dead instantly, or you are about to die from the blood loss that you gained from it. So that's obviously a bit of a problem. But that was actually a really fun siege that we had right there. And that's the kind of thing I really liked about Brick and Mortar, because the siege layouts were all these kinds of... It was pretty simple. You know, if you didn't have a battering ram or anything, you just had, you know, 2 ladders, 3 ladders or something, and you could go over, and then you can get straight in to the actual settlement. And I think that's really awesome. Being able to get into the settlement immediately and actually spread out and do kinds of cool things like that, really like that quite a bit. Anyway, as you can see, we've actually rescued a couple of people. So yeah, that's for the Night's Watch, as you can see right there. And I believe this is also for the Night's Watch. Yes, these guys all got themselves taken prisoner because they're just so incredibly useful. Rolls eyes. Yes, not particularly useful, but this, on the other hand, oh yeah, this is extremely useful. Give me all these. Really wish I had a way to rescue everyone at once, because I'd love to take all of them. But it seems like I'm going to have to do this manually. There's a whole bunch of captured enemies as well. I'm not entirely sure whether I should even bother capturing them, to be honest, because I don't know how much wildlings really sell for. It's probably not going to be that expensive, but maybe it's going to be worth it, just to have a little bit to sell to the ransom broker or something. But whatever the case, we are rescuing quite a few Night's Watch, and that's pretty good, because that means that we will be able to level those up, or at least I hope so, because we have a pretty decent amount of trainer skill, so we can level those up and hopefully then create an army or a suitable amount of units that are capable of dealing damage to the White Walkers. And that is our main goal at the moment, just basically getting ready for the White Walker invasion. Even though, what? I don't have any food? Are you serious? It took that long to... Oh, yeah. That is so annoying. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to give this to Lady Val of the Free Folk, because then she can actually get up here and actually start doing a little bit of damage to the opponent. She has so many units that it just makes sense. And Norvos has been besieged. Yes, Norvos has been besieged by someone from Qohor. I did not think that there was anyone else in the faction of Qohor, but okay, apparently there is. Anyway, my party has nothing to eat, which is absolutely awful. Bunch of Night's Watch vassals going over there. And, oh, there's Tormund as well. He's running away from me. But my main goal right now, apart from obviously getting ready for the White Walker invasion, is actually getting some food. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, well, that, I think, will be that, because that is obviously our first little foray into the Free Folks territory. But next time, we're going to be continuing our vendetta against the Free Folk. Hopefully we'll be able to take Shadow Tower if Mance Rayder has indeed left there. And maybe we'll be able to take some of his companions prisoner and convert them to vassals for the Wall. I think that would be pretty awesome. Otherwise, let me know how you think this is going. If you are enjoying this, then I very much appreciate that. And yeah, anyway, I thank you very much for watching and for joining me, and I will see you next time.